What is up, everyone? I am so excited to film this video. This is my newest Sephora haul. We have got a bunch of fresh, brand new launches that I don't know. The other day I popped on Sephora's new page and I was like, there were a lot of things I was interested to try. And so I'm excited to show those to you today. I mean, you're gonna see me, we're putting them on together today, but this is the final look and there are some goodies, y'all. Some really, really like products. I am so excited to like rework my vanity and work these products into there and take some other stuff out because these just all feel so fresh and new and exciting. So I'm excited to share them with you. I do want to take a second to thank today's video sponsor, Casetify. Thank you so much for continuing to support my channel by sponsoring this video. So Casetify, I was trying to think back to when was the first time I heard of Casetify. I remember I kept seeing all of my like favorite influencers on Instagram, for example, and they would always like, it'd be a mirror selfie and you'd see like the Casetify ring. And so it had already piqued my interest and they were always the cutest cases. So that was quite a while ago, right? I've been using Casetify cases exclusively for years now. And I feel like the thing that makes them unique outside of like other phone case brands is that they have patterns I feel like I wouldn't think of, but when I see them, I'm like, I like it. You know what I mean? And anytime I'm out and about and I would say probably 95% of the time I've seen a case in the wild and I'm like, ooh, I really like your case. And then I look close and I see the little Casetify logo. I'm like, of course it's Casetify. It always is Casetify. But I also feel like they're the pioneers of customized cases. So, you know, not only can you get your monogram like the one I currently have, but you can get words, your name, your initials, and you can now do it in so many different ways. I'm gonna pop on the screen all the different ways you can kind of finagle your customization. I just think it's so cool. And I feel like lately they've really amped up their customization options. So it's been even more exciting designing cases. But for me, like when I pull my phone out, I have my phone out all of the time, right? Like it's with me all the time. I'm out and about with it. I feel like it really is an extension of your personality and like what you've chosen out of all the cases that exist. The case you choose kind of tells people about your personality and what you're into and what you like. And I think that's a big part of why I've fallen in love with so many different cases over the years is because it really is an extension of like who you are, you know? I know that sounds cheesy, but I mean, it is, right? Some of my favorites are these really chill, low-key ones. Like this one that looks like this kind of homegrown, kind of cottagey look is one of my favorites. It makes, I don't know, I feel like it just emits calm. And then another favorite of mine is this tan one that's got these little white flowers. I love how clean. It's very aesthetic, very aesthetic. So I love that one so much. So another favorite is their neon cases. They have some really cool neon colors. So the neon pink, I'm literally wearing it today. Obviously a favorite. And this one I did get customized and I love that I can still get my wireless charger and my MagSafe accessories to work with these. That's huge. Kind of hard to find in the case world. So I love that I can use my MagSafe stuff with it. And then again, I've got some that are customized. This has JB in the kind of really trendy font. I've got the one I'm currently using, which is this really pretty pastel. But on top of all of that, they are super protective. They provide up to 11.5 feet of drop protection. All right, I'm doing a live drop test. Well, you know what I mean by live. So this is where I drop my phone more often than anywhere. So I'm usually dealing with something, maybe a kid, cooking, and the phone drops. And you shall see, there is never a scratch, like nothing broken, always works perfectly. I cannot tell you the amount of times I have dropped my phone in all of the different various Casetify cases and I've never had any issues. Thank goodness. But I love that it's got that protection, but it also is still really sleek. It's not super bulky, taking up a bunch of room in my purse, you know, or in my pocket. That's usually where I keep it. And I love that it's made from 65% recycled and plant-based material. So they collaborate with a bunch of artists. They have their global creative hub. And my favorite one, I was clicking through, there's so many artists. I really, really like their prints, but my favorite one is Marta Olga Clara. And so I'll pop on the screen. I love every single one of her prints. They are so pretty. So if you're wanting to support an artist as well, this is a really cool way to do it. I also really like their phone charm. That's one of their accessories I use a lot, especially when I'm out and about. I just hook it onto my phone. I'm able to just have my phone First of all, the charm is super cute. I get a lot of compliments on it, but it's also just making my life easier. I don't have to have my phone in my pocket. I can just kind of have it hanging on my wrist. So if you want to get your own case, treat yourself to a fresh one, whether you've got a new phone or not, having a fresh case on there can make, like, it can feel like a brand spanking new phone. So if you are ready to buy a new case for yourself or someone else, you can go to casetify.com/Jessica Braun today to get 15% off your order. That is a nice chunk off. So I will have the link and everything right at the top of the description box. I'll have it in a pinned comment as well. Thank you so much, Casetify, for supporting my channel and sponsoring this portion of the video. All right, so Genevieve today was carrying around her Jasmine, like, plush princess. And she was like, oh my gosh, they match. I'm like, they sure do. Got this in Disney World a few years ago, and I think they still sell these. All right, this is one of my larger Sephora hauls, so we've got quite a bit to try out. Some things that, like, I got a couple mascaras, so I'm only gonna be able to pick one to try, but we also got, like, candles and stuff. One for the Christmas season, one for the fall season, and these candles are so pretty, so I'm really hoping that they are good candles themselves. And hair stuff, just, it's a random mix. So let's dive in, shall we? All right, so the first thing we're gonna start with is from a brand I've never ever tried, and it is In Beauty Project, and this is their Face Glaze Bronze Gel Cream. So it says it adds a warm bronze glow, it hydrates skin. First of all, this sounds a lot like the De-Bronzy Glow drops or whatever from Drunk Elephant. Lots of brands are making this now where you could mix it in with your foundation to kind of make it a little bronzier, to darken it maybe a bit. You can use it as a primer. You can just, like, what else do they say? On top of makeup as a cream bronzer. We're gonna see what the, like, how pigmented this is and decide from there. The packaging is kind of pretty. I'm trying to decide if I could put this all over my face. That might be a little much. Well, okay. So I'm blending it there. That's not too crazy. So let's just try it because you probably can't tell, but I do have a little bit of, I have some mosquito bites, first of all. Shout out to those. But I do have some self-tanner on, so just to kind of make it match a little bit better. I thought about mixing with the foundation we're going to try, but I kind of just want to see what that foundation looks like as it is. So let's give this a whirl. See what it does. I feel like I put too much over here. My fear with products like this is that you can see a clear delineation where it ends. So I'm trying to, like, blend it, you know? So, like, I feel like in, well, it just looks like I have, like, an interesting, like, really bad fake tan on my face, you know? But, so I guess my thing is I don't think I would wear it alone if you're near my skin tone as it is, because I think it just looks kind of odd. So, all right, definitely still a little bit glowy. I don't think it added anything over the top. I was already kind of glowy as it was just from my vitamin C and stuff. So we're gonna see. This is a hard product to judge. I will definitely update you guys either in an Instagram story, a vlog, or speed reviews, or all of the above, because I want to try this mixed in with stuff and in other ways, because, you know, it's just one of those products that's kind of odd. So we have two foundations that I bought. This is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop, not the Ease Drop itself, because I do love that. I just talked about that in a video. This is their new stick, foundation stick. So I typically don't love foundation sticks. Packaging is pretty. It's different than what I've seen out there. It looks hydrating, but not overly so. I feel like the last foundation stick I used regularly, or I tried to make work, I should say that, was, I want to say was it Bare Minerals? And it was so hydrating, which was great in theory, but it broke apart so badly on the skin, I could not get it to actually stay put. So I feel like since then, and that was a while ago, I have not tried a foundation stick. So I'm excited to give this a try. The other new product I have is the Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint. This is definitely getting a lot of buzz online right now because it's a new product from Hourglass. I got the shade 3. Here's to hoping it works. I'm filming this like at 8 a.m. which I don't think I've ever done with a video, ever. Unless, because I was gonna say, unless I like did stuff before like going to work when I was teaching, but I don't think I don't know. Which is really odd, but our day is so jam-packed and we have the girls, so Tyler's like, the only time I can watch him is right now. So I'm like, all right, we are filming early. I feel like Emily Noel, I know she always films so early in the morning. So, okay, shade 3, let's see if it works. Ooh, this feels different than I don't know, I can't explain it. It feels nice, it just feels different. So I think that'll generally work for me really well. Like I said, I mean, I'm kind of in a weird shade. I also got a little bit of sunburn on my shouldies. And I had sun protection on, but I should have reapplied. Anyway, I really want to try the skin tint, but I really want to try the foundation stick. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try the foundation stick just on my forehead. So we're going to see what it looks like up there, and then I'll do the tint on my cheeks. And if we have to do some mixing after just to make it look normal, we'll do that. But I just want to see what this looks like. It glides on really easily. The stick is not going to feel like dry stick. I feel like back in the day, foundation sticks used to be so drying, and so I don't know, they felt just kind of gross. Definitely good coverage. It definitely covered all the bronzer we had put on there. I mean, that blended super fast. Interesting. I'll be curious how this wears. I'll put some wear notes in the description box, so if you want to see how it looked by the end of the day, I'll kind of report back. So let's put the tint on one of my cheeks. This I'm going to do maybe one side with my sponge, and then we'll do the other maybe with a brush. So definitely not wildly high coverage. You can still see a little bit of my redness, right? So without and with, but it looks really healthy. Let's try it on this side with a brush. I have a feeling we'll get a little more coverage out of this. Okay, so with a brush, with a sponge, I feel like we got a little bit more coverage with the brush. I don't think it's like wildly different, but it definitely, I mean, there is a slight difference. Let's see if we can build it up. I definitely feel that this is giving a little more coverage than a lot of skin tints. I feel like nowadays people are calling everything a skin tint when it's really like a medium coverage foundation that's a little more hydrating. So I feel like the name isn't always actually indicative of the coverage level anymore, whereas before a skin tint was like what the Glossier was like, where, you know what I mean? But I also will say that I feel like some skin tints don't lend themselves well to a sponge, like it completely shears out, and this one still had some coverage. So that's kind of nice because I'm definitely a sponge girly, although lately I've been using brushes more and more. I feel like it looks pretty. So we know the whole face was glowy, right? Before I started putting it on. So the foundation stick definitely tamped down the glowiness just a bit versus the hydrating skin tint definitely kept that hydration. But I still feel like the foundation stick is hydrating, but perhaps you don't need quite as hydrated of a base to use it, which is pretty cool for a foundation stick. And I think the stick probably has a little bit more coverage than the Hourglass. So yeah, I'm enjoying both so far. I mean, you guys know the drill, it's first impression, so I'll get back to you on this. And like I said, check out the wear notes to see how it wore, but I think they all look really pretty and they don't look so wildly different. I think I can just leave them alone. Did I actually get my whole face? I think I'm good. Yet again, we have two concealers to talk about. I think I've got the Makeup Forever HD Skin Concealer, and I also have the Tower 28 concealer. Honestly, I think I went too light, oh my gosh, in the Makeup Forever concealer. So I might try to get my correct shade. So let's go with the Tower 28 ones. Everything I bought, this was technically not a part of the haul. I literally pulled it in because I got it in PR like yesterday and I was like, oh, I'm gonna need to try that like now. All right, so I'm gonna go with the shade EP, and we're just gonna, honestly, this one might be a little too dark. Sometimes that works better though in the weirdest way for me, I feel like. I am very picky with concealer, which is why I've had like the same two favorite concealers for a very long time. This one's looking very on par with what I really, really like, where it blended in, I feel like, so seamlessly. It's still a little bit hydrating, but not overly so. I definitely am going to want to set it though, which I set most of my concealers anyway, so it's not, you know, a total deal breaker or anything. It applied really nicely with a brush. Let me try this side with a sponge. It just blends in so fast. So I think it looks pretty nice with the sponge too. You definitely get just that little bit more coverage as usual with the brush. So I might tap just the tiniest bit more. Kind of. Yeah, I like the way it looks. I'm excited to set it with the powder because I think that's going to really seal the deal for me, because sometimes I'll like a concealer like this and it looks really nice, but the second I set it with the powder, it looks crazy. So that's going to be the other like half of the test of this. So I don't think I told you, it's Tower 28's new concealer, but it is their serum concealer. So I'm going to throw on some brows real fast because I did not buy a brow product. This is just the Maybelline Tattoo Studio I've been using pretty much daily. You do have to wipe a lot of it off though, if you don't want it to be like wildly pigmented. Okay, so for eyeshadow, I was kind of excited to try this, and it's funny because this is one of the products that a lot of people are like, because she's released similar products in the past, but for me, I hadn't bought any of those similar products, and these all look like shades I would generally like and use. So it's from Natasha Denona. It's the Mini Starlit palette. These are tiny, but again, like this, I'm not going to use these up based on what I do, so it's kind of perfect. But also, if you know you don't go through eyeshadow quickly, like it doesn't bother me so much that they're small. So we're going to start with the middle shade and just kind of, ooh, that's a little, I mean, they're pigmented, but so far they're blending pretty well. This is a shade I would just totally put all over and all over the lid and just like leave it and feel like, I feel like that looks done, but we'll throw in a little bit more. Got to take Felicity to her like checkup appointment here in like an hour and a half. I'm gonna be full glam. Kudos to you that do full face of makeup early in the morning. There's something so nice and ritualistic though about doing your makeup, especially early in the morning. And I want to get back into doing it, but my job is weird, right? Because a lot of times I'm filming later and I'm going to be doing my makeup on camera. So for me to do my makeup earlier in the day and then take it off and then put it. So my schedule is just a little bit too odd, but there is something nice and ritualistic about early morning, like doing your makeup. I don't know. So that blended like a dream. So no complaints about that. Let's try, wow, this like second shade in. Okay, this is giving that wet look I like, but it's not as crumbly as the Makeup by Mario. That product I love from Makeup by Mario, it's like this illuminator and it gives the wet look to the eyes that I think is so pretty. But it's so crumbly, it literally is always broken. Like I'm always trying to fix it. Oh my gosh, I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but I love that look. Especially like you could have one makeup look all day and at the end, like before you go out at night, tap that on and it just elevates. It looks so cool. So that is totally giving me those vibes. That is awesome. Now I'm gonna take this darker brown here and just kind of tap a little bit out here. And then I'll blend it. You can hear Tyler reading Felicity a book. Her favorite book, and it was Genevieve's favorite book, is this book called The Chicks in the Barn, and it's to the tune of the dun dun dun, what is that? Oh, Wheels on the Bus. Why? Wow, I could not think of it. I was so used to The Chicks in the Barn being the words. To the tune of the Wheels on the Bus, but it's all like the animals in the farm. So that little 16-month-old knows all of her animal sounds, and I'm sure it is thanks to this book, and it is so funny. But yeah, she just loves it, and Genevieve loved it too. My sister got it for Genevieve back in the day, and that's the same one, of course, we still have. And it's her favorite. Like, Felicity wants us to read it like 100 times in a row. I have that book memorized for sure. So this all looks really nice. I think, you know, I feel like nowadays a lot of palettes, they're all generally pretty good. I feel like you can throw a stone in the drugstore, and I know this isn't drugstore. You can throw a stone in the drugstore and hit an eyeshadow palette, and it's probably good. Like, it's hard. It's almost harder to find a bad palette nowadays. But this is very pretty. Of course, it's pricier, but if you knew these were all shades you would use, let me swatch these last two, then I would say go for it. Let me swatch them all together so you can actually see. Ow, shut my finger in the palette. So there they all are. Yeah, you can kind of see how it gives that. So yeah, I think it's really pretty. And it's teeny tiny, which is so nice. All right, liner-wise, we're trying something new. You guys know I actually, okay, if I am honest, I bought another Sephora 12-hour liner because you know this is the one for me. It's the one. It doesn't transfer from the waterline. It stays put. Like, this is so good, and it's like 10 bucks. But I got a different shade. This one is just the, is it the black? Endless Night. So I think that's like dark black because a lot of you, I've been using the brown and a lot of you guys were asking like, is the black any good? So I will try that and report back. But I'm also going to try a new one, trying to branch out. This is the Rare Beauty Perfect Strokes eyeliner in true brown, since you know I'm into brown liners. So I want to see, it feels nice and creamy, very nice and dark, and it's retractable. But I want to see, so it says it's waterproof. So that's going to be the test. I'm going to put it on the upper waterline and see if it transfers down. High pigment waterproof gel pencil with a built-in sharpener for max precision and glide every time. So it's got that little sharpener thing in the back. All right, let's test it out, baby. Every time I do my liner, my mirror is like farther away. I'm usually right up on the mirror. I guess I could be when I'm like getting ready at my vanity back there. And every time I do it from here, I'm like, it's so far. It's such a distance. And then I can't stop singing in my head, from a distance. All right. I'm not even sure I know any more words to that song. All right, we're putting it on the waterline. Now the other test I have is, does it blend? Because I like to kind of smudge it a bit. I'm forcing it to smudge, but it definitely dried down a little faster, which again, it being waterproof, that's not so surprising, but I'm going to add a little bit more out here so I can try to smudge it into a, so you might just have to work a little faster if you were wanting to do what I'm doing. Yeah. So I wouldn't give it a A+ for smudging capability, but we're going to see if it transfers down because everything else has felt pretty good. It's creamy. It's easy to apply. I will say the one thing that drives me nuts about the Sephora one is it's a pencil you have to sharpen. So, you know, every other day I'm sharpening it because I want it to be a little more pointed. So that drives me nuts, but it's so good that it's been worth it. And I actually recently bought the Sephora brand sharpener and it is flawless with that pencil. And it's, of course, inexpensive. So if you need one, I can link the exact one. But I mean, it is so good to use with their eyeliner. But I have a soft spot in my heart for Rare Beauty because I feel like it's so nice that the price point isn't just astronomical. And I feel like generally the quality, like I haven't loved a lot of their complexion products, like their concealers and foundations. I haven't found one I just feel so strongly about. But a lot of their other products I have liked. I feel like this looks nice. So far, it hasn't transferred down. Oh my gosh. I'm holding out hope. This may be the first retractable pencil I've ever used that doesn't transfer down. Because the only other one I've tried is like Makeup by Mario that doesn't transfer. And that's it, Sharpen 1-2, you know what I mean? All right, go Rare Beauty. All right, we have 3 eyeliners, okay? Judge away. I've got the Huda Beauty One Coat Wow. I've got the Sephora Big by Definition, and then the Ami Collet mascara. So I have heard the Huda Beauty actually is like really good and it does do it in one coat. So that's pretty cool. I haven't heard anything about the Sephora one. I just wanted to buy it because I don't know, I was interested. And then the Ami Collet one I've heard is so good as well. So I think the Ami Collet is the one I'm dying to try. So that's what I'm going to try. I really like the loose powder by this brand. So my hopes are just to the sky, you know? Okay, so that's one coat, I would say. Definitely separates, which is really nice because I feel like a lot of kind of more volumizing-ish mascaras don't. This is my favorite kind of brush. Just a classic conical brush. It's firm. It's not bending or anything, so I feel like I can really get at the base if I want and pull up or wiggle and pull up, you know? Wow. It's looking really nice. I'm gonna give it a moment and then I'm gonna put on a second coat while I take another sip. Also, I kind of like that it's like a different color. I don't know. The vibe of Ami Collet is like simple packaging, but I don't know. I need to try even more from this brand. Okay, wow. I'm going to comb through just to kind of... I have like a lash in here. I almost just need to pluck out because it always fights with me. You know, you ever have one you're like, I don't want to lose any lashes, but also if you're not going to follow the rules, I'm going to kick you out of the lash group, you know? Kind of see it there. But the second coat really amped it up. So that is exciting. Because sometimes to get this amount of volume, no matter what mascara I'm using, I'm going in with like a third coat. And this was giving it to me after that second. So, ooh. Definitely see like, with that second coat, I want to brush this too. Slight clumpage, but nothing totally abnormal. And again, I just really like the way this looks. Holy moly. Almost looks like fake lashes. Don't you think? Whew. Okay. Enjoying so far. We'll get back to you. Actually, this will be really fun to compare to this one since this is supposed to do it in one coat and just see like, all right, if this one does this in 2 coats, can this pull it off in one? Because that'd be pretty rad. So very, very cool. We're getting into the stuff I'm very excited about. So let's start with this powder because the bronzer and blush we're going to use are powder. And I've tried so many cream and liquid blushes, bronzers, etc. It was kind of exciting to get some powder products to play with. So first, this powder caught my eye. It's from the brand Melt. It's their Glazed Skin Sheer Finishing Powder. I got it in Fair. So it says, a soft focus blurs lines and imperfections, but it provides a natural, transparent glow. Lightweight, buildable coverage, mineral clay balances oil, moisturizing with jojoba oil and vitamin E, vegan, cruelty-free, gluten-free, talc-free. Wow. Ooh. I will say, I haven't tried a lot from Melt, but every time I've seen their packaging, it's always kind of like cool. Like I feel like that looks really cool. All right. That's Fair. Almost looks a little, oh no, yeah, that definitely is fair. So it definitely, gosh, this is so interesting. There it is. You can almost see that glow, can't you? And that's a thick, like 2 layers of a finger swipe. So you'd probably never have it on that thick, but it definitely has a little bit of coverage. Definitely has a little bit of glow. Probably a little too light for me today, but I feel like normal days, you know. So we're gonna start by just getting some and putting it just in the T-zone. Because I definitely feel like I need a little something, something. You can definitely still see the glow. Which again, like a lot of times when I powder, I'm really just trying to soak up oil, but I don't mind like having some glow. Okay. I'm like, do I try this on my under eye? I feel like it's too glowy to do that. We're gonna do it. You'll never know if it does or doesn't work until you do it. Okay, so without powder and with, definitely soaked up some oil and like blurred it. But you can definitely see a little bit of that glow still. This is so fascinating. And I've tried products like this before. It's not like, but I don't know. This one seems to have more coverage than a lot of the other glowy ones I've tried have had. But if you recall, my favorite powder for the longest time was an IT Cosmetics powder foundation. I think it still exists. And it's slightly glowy as well. I don't think it was quite as glowy as this, but I think it looks pretty. I feel like this shade worked for me pretty well. But actually, we're going to powder our cheeks now that I'm thinking about it, because we are using powder, bronzer and stuff, and I just don't want to have it stick to everything. Okay, I am excited to try these. These are new from Makeup Forever. Oh my gosh. And so I got a blush shade and a bronzer shade. And I just thought the packaging was kind of cute. So Makeup Forever, I feel like they definitely give the vibe of like an actual makeup artist like kit. And I kind of love that, just like the simple black. They have so many different shades of things and stuff. And that I really feel like is kind of what the brand is, but us normal people that are non-makeup artists can also get it, you know? Made it sound like makeup artists weren't normal. You know what I mean? Like the everyday consumer, I guess is my point. So we're going to try the bronzer. And then I have another blush I want to show you, and then we'll decide which one we want to use. Oh. It's going on seamlessly, I feel like. Well, now that I say that. Can definitely pack a punch, I feel like, if you're not careful. Because I'm getting plenty on the brush, but then tapping a good amount off, because I feel like you can, yeah. You can really, it can pack a punch, so beware. It's good or bad depending on what you like. Definitely glad we put a powder on at least, so it's not just sticking to my, like, you know, way too moisturized patches of my skin. I think I like it. I need to use this more because I feel like I'm gonna have to find the perfect brush for it and be careful with it, which I don't typically love in a bronzer, but it's not a bad bronzer. I mean, this definitely does the job, and I feel like once you blend it in, I think it does look really nice and bronzy. So I'm gonna keep playing with this. The other blush I want to try, I must try, is from Givenchy, and it's their Prisme Libre blush. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation. It's a loose powder blush. I've been wanting to try something like this for a long time. So they use their setting powder that's like the 4 different colors. It's the same idea, but this is in a blush. When I saw this on the Sephora like new page, you know, I was like, I could not wait to try this. So let's peel off the... Well, I'm sure your blush look will always look slightly different because you're getting 4 colors and you're trying your best to kind of mix it in, you know, but you're never going to be perfect at it. So I'm just going to kind of... All right, got some on there. It's the prettiest glow. Okay, I'm loving it. I'm totally loving it. The thing is, I feel like because it's a loose powder and it's so finely milled, it does a better job of just kind of meshing with the rest of the skin when it comes to like the texture of what you're applying and then the colors. Like, this is just so pretty. Now it's making me want to get into like loose bronzers and kind of see how those work together. I do have a loose bronzer I liked from Bare Minerals, but I had to be so careful to really make sure I had the right, like an even amount on the brush or else it looked weird. But when I nailed it, it looked so gorgeous. I have not pulled that out in a while, but I am really liking the look of this blush. I have a feeling this kind of pinky shade, so I have the shade number 2, Taffeta's Rosé. Okay. I feel like that kind of like lightly rosy color is going to be so pretty in the wintertime too. I mean, I'm going to use it year round, but I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited to own it. I bought a setting spray. I know. You're like, who are you? Who do you think that you are? I don't know. It's from LYS Beauty, and I want to say, oh, that's why. It's their Blur Mattify and Set Natural Finish Setting Spray. Because I'm like, I can't do glowy setting sprays. I just can't. Because usually I'm already starting with a glowy enough base that the last thing I need at the end of my makeup look is to add more glow. So I needed something that was a little more like of a natural finish. And I've liked a lot from LYS, so I wanted to try this out. So here we go. The mister is 12 out of 10. So fine. You know what I mean? Like even. I probably didn't even need as much as I did. But I love a setting spray to kind of tamp down the powdery look of something. So even though I've got a lot of glow, I did put powder everywhere. So we'll see as this kind of settles in. I also love LYS's like triangular prism packaging. I just think it's cute. So this is just pretty on top of it all. And LYS is another one that their prices are kind of like Rare Beauty, where they're not in the stratosphere. They're kind of in that mid range. We're going to try a lip product. This is from Milk Makeup. It is their new Odyssey Lip Oil Gloss. Again, this is the only other product I received in PR that I didn't buy, but I swatched these yesterday and I was like, these feel a lot like my Omi Colé lip treatment oils that I like. So we're going to go with this kind of pinky shade. But I want to swatch this other one for you too, because it is so pretty. This one's so neutral and gorgeous. I have a feeling this fall I'm going to use it a lot. It's in the shade Quest. You see, isn't that gorgeous? Kind of like a chestnutty, but there's enough of a pink tint to it. I feel like that it's still pretty, but not pink. But like it's not so brown. This one is in the shade Work Trip, spelled W-E-R-K. Let me kind of wipe off. I haven't actually tried these on my lips yet. I am just so into lip oils. I have been for a while now, and I just feel like they're so forgiving with like lip texture, but they're not all created equal. Like some of them are so smoothing, which is what I obviously like. Oh my gosh. Looks so, I feel like that looks really smooth. I'm trying to see what it looks like. Let's put on another layer just for funsies. These smell like light vanilla. Nothing crazy, nothing overpowering. Like it's exactly what I want my lip products to smell like, to be honest. If I were like making a lip product, it would probably smell like this. I think that looks so pretty. This is definitely a, like at least this shade for me is, I don't need a mirror for it kind of vibe. You know what I mean? I can just kind of put it on and know that it's going to look pretty good. I love it. Oh my gosh. So the other two shades, if you just want to see them, because these are more glittery in their Odyssey lip oil line. This one's in Explore. And it's kind of a peachy glitter. I feel like for summer and spring, it's so pretty. And then this one's in Twerk. I'll show you. Twerk, Explore. So these definitely have a little more color to them. And there's a little bit of like shimmer in these too. I think they had 8 different colors. So I showed you 4 of them. But yeah, I definitely have a strong suspicion these two are going to be the ones. The one I swatched earlier in Quest and then Work Trip are probably going to be my go-tos. But it's feeling really nice and no tingle or anything weird like that. Shall we round out the haul with my random things now that we are like done getting ready? So I guess I can take these out. Ow, you're not supposed to ruin hair. That's your whole goal. All right, so I got a Grow hair serum. So I used this particular one from Vegamour when I was postpartum. I used their Grow shampoo and conditioner and their hair serum. And I've mentioned in the past, I think I noticed a difference in, I felt that I lost less hair this time than I did the first postpartum time. But it's so impossible to tell. Like I wish I knew for sure. I'll never know for sure, but I think this made a difference. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? As we get older, our hair thins, you lose more hair. I want to be a little more proactive. So I bought the Grow hair serum again. This you can put in your hair. It's an oil. Let me actually show it to you. I shouldn't say it's an oil. It's a serum. So I thought it would make your hair all greasy and weird. It doesn't. It's more like a water consistency. So it's like it dries into your hair. So it's not as big of a deal. But I will typically, like if I know I'm going to shower the next morning or something and wash my hair, I'll put this in the night before. But I've put it in at night and then the next morning dry shampooed my hair and it was no big deal. Like it didn't add oil to the roots because you do focus it where your hair grows, obviously. You're not gonna be putting it throughout your hair. So I'm excited to have this again because like I said, I just wanna be a little more proactive with things like that. And I feel like this is something that I've had a good experience with in the past. So yeah, so to kind of show you the consistency of it, it really does feel like a water. I like put it on and it like instantly dries. So I think that's pretty cool. That was one reason I didn't try this for a while, because I thought, well, I'm not putting an oil in my, like, what am I going to do with my hair? When will I use it? You know what I mean? I wouldn't worry about that with this if you were considering buying it. Okay. Next thing I got is a perfume for fall. And it's a little different than I feel like typically get for like a fall scent. But this is the K. Ali, I hope I'm saying that right, Eden Juicy Apple. This smells like a full-on, full-blown apple. It smells so good. It reminds me of a grown-up version of like a Bath & Body Works apple scent. And I got this smaller, like, I don't think they called it like travel size, but like purse size if you wear. It does give you ideas for pairings within the brand. Juicy apple plus vanilla. Ooh, juicy apple and white flower, juicy apple and vanilla cocoa. So different ideas, but I think this size is perfect. Like, I don't need a giant one of this because I love the scent, but this isn't necessarily a year-round scent. Like, I don't picture myself wearing this apple scent in the middle of winter, for example. But honestly, spring, summer, and fall, I totally could. So love how fresh and juicy this smells. It's just totally different than any of my other scents that I have. So I was very excited about that, and the packaging is so cute for this small size. And then I got 2 candles. These were pricey, but I've been wanting to try this Voluspa brand. I think I've tried like smaller tins of it before, but it was like years and years ago. But it's definitely one of those brands that's pricey. I've definitely seen a lot on social media and stuff. This is the cinnamon wood scent, but I loved the jar. I feel like the jar is so pretty. We're gonna have it on our kitchen island. We usually burn like a candle here, really mostly when I'm filming, if I'm being honest, because I like the vibe of it. It makes me think of when I started my channel. And then we'll light one on the island. That's pretty much it. We don't really have them all over the house, really just because we have young kids and, you know, it's not conducive, not very safe. But they can't reach the middle of the island. So that's probably where this will go. It definitely has a cinnamony smell, but it's not Christmas cinnamon quite. Well, it could be. It's almost like musky cinnamon. So I feel like it's going to be perfect for the fall. So this is going to get lit in the next few weeks. And then come Christmas time for our like Christmas scent there, I went with this one, Noble Fir Garland. This is like a full-on glass jar. It's so pretty. And this scent, I wish you could smell. The scent throw already, just smelling it in the jar, smells a lot stronger than the other one, so that's interesting. This smells like fresh balsam from Bath & Body Works. If you like the Christmas tree scent, you will like this smell. It smells exactly like it, which is Tyler's and my favorite. Like, oh my gosh. So when he smelled this yesterday when I opened the box, he was like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, they nailed that scent. So hopefully these have a good scent throw. I'll have to update you because they are pricey for what they are. And I'm like, I read one review of another scent, and a couple people, at least for that scent, were like, it doesn't have a good scent throw. Like, for the price, it should be way better. But there were no reviews on these scents because they were new drops. So I'm like, I hope the scent throw is good because the other ones had good reviews. So anyway. Okay, so as usual, I want to share like my top picks from this haul, obviously based on a first impression, but the things I'm the most excited to use tomorrow. Woo! So it was kind of easy to pick these. I am really excited to use the Hourglass Veil tomorrow because I just really like the way that it looks. I feel like I liked the coverage level. It was really easy to blend in. It definitely felt different than a lot of skin tints I've tried. So I'm really excited to continue using this. You know I'm excited about this loose blush. I just want to try it with different brushes, like just mixed in different ways. I just love the idea of it. I don't know why. It's so much more work, I know. But I don't know. I just really like the idea of it. So very excited to use that some more. The Tower 28 concealer, I am really liking. I'm loving. It gives me exactly the look I like. It reminds me, like looks-wise, I feel like it looks similar to the Natasha Denona, just not quite as high coverage. Like that one, you know I'm loving that one so much. That one's a little bit more coverage. This one's a little bit less coverage and a little more hydrating. So I guess it's nothing like it. But I feel like it gives me a similar look like that I like. So I can't explain that. And then I really am excited about the Ami Collet mascara. I feel like it's holding the curl. It looks really nice. Not so overdone, but not underdone, like just the right amount. So we'll have to see if it flakes or smudges or anything like that. But so far, I mean, so far so good. It's been on for like, 20 minutes. I don't know. I could talk about a couple more, but I'm like, those really were the ones when I looked back at everything I got. Those are the things I'm the most excited about. Okay, also the Milk lip oil. Okay, that one too. I have to do that one. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still watching at this point, comment 3 Christmas tree emojis just because we were talking about Christmas trees. It'll confuse everyone else. Again, thank you to Casetify for being a sponsor of this video and of my channel. If you want to treat yourself to a new case, you can go to casetify.com/Jessica Braun to get 15% off your order today. I'll have that link right at the top of the description box. I'll have it in a pinned comment if that's easier to find for you. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you, love you, love you. If you want to see more of my camera's overheating, so I'm trying to go fast. If you want to see more of my trying new makeup videos, I have a playlist, baby. We do these once a month, sometimes more than that. So if you want to check those out, I will link them below. And if you watch all of this, but you're like, Jessica, I want something more in the drugstore price range, I got you there too. I will link my drugstore makeup playlist because I do a lot of those videos as well. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It helps me so much. It helps you find my videos more easily. And yeah, thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.